Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start by saying thank you for allowing me to stand here and speak with you today. It's truly an honor. Now, we live in a world that is full of noise, distractions, and constant demands on our attention. And in the middle of all this chaos, I want to share with you something simple yet profound. Stay silent. Everything will come to you naturally. Patience is often seen as one of the most overlooked virtues in today's fast-paced world. We live in an age where everything is expected to happen immediately. The moment we have a desire, we want it fulfilled right away. The modern world encourages instant gratification, and this mentality has crept into every corner of our lives. From the food we eat to the information we seek, speed is the order of the day. But the truth is, when it comes to many of the most important aspects of life, rushing doesn't lead to success. It often leads to frustration. Patience, on the other hand, teaches us to trust the journey, even when we don't have all the answers, or even when things aren't happening on our preferred timeline. It's about trusting that things will unfold in the right moment. Life has a way of showing us that in the end, we get exactly what we need, but sometimes it requires us to wait, to sit still, and to be patient. There is a certain beauty in letting time work for you rather than against you. If we take a moment to observe nature, we can see how patience operates. Think about the way plants grow. Seeds don't just burst into life overnight. They need time to develop beneath the surface before they push through the soil and grow into something beautiful. It's a process. Each stage is necessary for the next, and the outcome is not determined by how quickly the seed grows, but by how it is nurtured over time. Life's important things often take time to mature, and rushing through the process would not allow us to fully appreciate or understand the value of what we're waiting for. In our personal lives, it's easy to get swept up in the pressure to achieve certain milestones by a certain age. Whether it's a career achievement, a relationship goal, or even financial success, society often pressures us to meet these markers and to do so quickly. But when we push too hard to achieve them before we are ready, we might overlook the lessons and growth we would have gained by being patient with the process. Just like a tree that needs years to grow tall and strong, we need time to grow into the people we are meant to become. Patience allows us to learn, to fail, to rise again, and to experience life fully without rushing toward the end result. Patience also allows us to live more peacefully. When we are always rushing, we miss the small moments of joy that are present right in front of us. We get so caught up in what's next that we forget to appreciate what we have right now. The quiet moments, the simple pleasures, the relationships we often take for granted. Patience helps us to settle into life rather than constantly pushing to make things happen. This approach brings a deeper sense of contentment and fulfillment because we are not chasing something just for the sake of achieving it. Instead, we are embracing where we are, knowing that what's meant for us will arrive at just the right time. In many ways, we can think of patience as a form of trust. Trust in ourselves, in the process, and in the timing of the universe. When we trust that things will unfold as they should, we free ourselves from the anxiety that comes with trying to control every outcome. Patience encourages us to let go of the need to force situations and simply allow things to develop as they will. That sense of trust brings peace, and that peace ultimately leads us to the fulfillment we are seeking. Patience is not about inaction. It's about living with purpose and acceptance. It's about understanding that every moment, whether it's filled with action or stillness, contributes to our growth. When we can live in patience, we learn that the things we desire are not lost, not far away, but just waiting for the right moment to come to us. Trusting in timing is one of the most vital aspects of understanding how life operates. We often want things to happen on our own schedule, believing that if we push hard enough, we can make things happen when we want them. The truth, however, is that life doesn't work that way. Everything has a rhythm, and everything unfolds in its own time. We may not always understand the timing of events, and sometimes it feels as if things are not progressing the way we had hoped. But the key to moving forward is realizing that trust in timing is a powerful force. Life has its own timing, one that's far more perfect than our own. Think about how many times we've forced ourselves into situations or rushed through moments because we were impatient or anxious about the future. In those instances, we often find ourselves dissatisfied with the outcome because it wasn't the right time or the right moment. It's as though life is telling us that we need to wait a little longer, grow a little more, or be a little more prepared for what's coming. When we trust in the timing of life, we allow ourselves to release that anxiety and pressure. We give ourselves permission to take a step back and recognize that things will fall into place when they are meant to. Life doesn't move according to the clock. It moves according to natural cycles that are beyond our control. When you trust in timing, you are aligning yourself with the greater flow of life. It's about recognizing that there are certain moments in life that are perfect for taking action, and there are other times when it's better to wait and observe. There's a beauty in this rhythm, even though it often requires patience on our part. Think of it like waiting for the perfect wave to surf. If you try to ride a wave before it's ready, you will likely fall off. But when you wait for the right moment, when the wave is perfectly aligned, it's exhilarating and effortless. Trusting in timing gives you the ability to recognize when it's time to act and when it's time to step back. Timing is not just about waiting, it's about preparation. It's not about sitting idle and hoping things will happen. It's about preparing yourself to be ready when the right moment arrives. When we trust in timing, we don't waste our energy by constantly worrying about when something will happen. Instead, we focus on what we can do in the present moment to be ready for that opportunity when it comes. This creates a sense of ease and flow in life. The waiting doesn't feel like wasted time, but like valuable preparation that sets us up for success when the timing is right. Trusting in timing also brings us peace of mind. When we stop trying to force things into place, we allow ourselves the space to experience life as it is, without the pressure of expectations. We understand that everything we want will come to us naturally at the right time. There's a deep sense of satisfaction in knowing that while we may not be able to control the timing, we can control how we respond to it. By aligning with the timing of life, we begin to realize that the things we want are not out of our reach. They are simply waiting for us to be ready to receive them. Life's rhythm and timing work in perfect harmony, and when we learn to trust it, we can stop worrying about the future and instead live in the present moment. It teaches us to be patient and to understand that what is meant for us will never miss us. It will come to us when the time is right. This is a powerful way to live because it frees us from the anxiety of constantly trying to control outcomes and instead helps us develop a deep trust in the natural unfolding of our lives. Trusting in timing is a lesson in patience, peace, and ultimately in trusting ourselves. When we stay silent and allow the world around us to unfold naturally, we create space for personal growth and reflection. Silence is not just the absence of sound, but the space where we allow our minds and hearts to settle. In our noisy, often chaotic world, silence can feel like a rare luxury, but it is in these quiet moments that we begin to hear our inner voice more clearly. By embracing silence, we give ourselves the opportunity to tap into our own wisdom, our intuition, and our deepest desires. In the stillness, we stop looking for answers from the outside and instead find them within ourselves. Silence is a tool for self-reflection, offering us the chance to listen to our own thoughts and feelings without the distraction of external noise. It gives us the space to examine our motivations, our fears, and our desires. When we stop talking, stop reacting, and simply listen, we begin to understand ourselves on a deeper level. It's in these moments of silence that we often discover what truly matters to us, what we truly want, and what we need to let go of in order to move forward. Furthermore, silence allows us to reconnect with the present moment. In a world where we are constantly multitasking, constantly thinking ahead to the next thing, we often forget to simply be. Silence provides the opportunity to stop rushing, to stop worrying about what's next, and to focus on the here and now. It's a reminder that everything does not have to be accomplished in a rush. In silence, we can be fully present, embracing the simplicity of life and the beauty of what's around us. Moreover, silence helps us to strengthen our intuition. When we stop the constant chatter of the world, we become more attuned to our own instincts and feelings. We start to recognize the subtle cues that guide us, the inner voice that speaks to us when we need direction. Silence is a practice of tuning out distractions and listening to what's most important, allowing us to make decisions based on clarity rather than impulse or external pressure. The more we embrace silence, the more we trust ourselves and the process of life. In a world that values constant activity and constant connection, silence can be a transformative practice. By embracing it, we learn to trust that everything we need will come to us, that everything will unfold naturally in its own time, and that the answers we seek are often already inside of us, waiting to be discovered. Life operates on a rhythm, much like music or nature, and this rhythm doesn't always match the pace we desire. Often, we feel the pressure to achieve things on our own terms, pushing ourselves to meet certain milestones, whether they are related to career, relationships, or personal growth. However, when we take a step back and acknowledge that life follows its own timing, we begin to understand that the most significant and fulfilling moments often come when we least expect them. Life has its own sense of timing, and when we learn to align ourselves with it, we can experience a much deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. It's easy to feel like we need to rush through life, trying to force things to happen at the speed we think they should. But the reality is that everything has its natural course. Sometimes we need to wait for things to come together, allowing time and experience to guide us in the right direction. In a world that demands quick results and instant gratification, it can be difficult to practice patience and trust in timing. But when we do, we find that the things we desire come to us more effortlessly. Trusting in the timing of life allows us to release the pressure we place on ourselves and gives us the freedom to let things unfold organically. Patience is one of the most powerful tools we can have when it comes to navigating life's journey. It's the ability to sit with uncertainty, to wait without fear, and to trust that things will happen when the time is right. In a society that constantly urges us to move faster, accomplish more, and do everything in a hurry, patience can often feel like a rare and precious quality. But when we embrace it, we allow ourselves the space to grow, to learn, and to reflect. Patience teaches us that not everything has to happen in an instant. It helps us recognize that some things take time to come to fruition, and forcing them only disrupts the natural flow of things. Whether it's personal growth, professional goals, or relationships, the journey often requires time to build the foundation needed for lasting success. Rushing through these processes may give us temporary satisfaction, but it's the slow, steady approach that truly allows us to appreciate the value of what we achieve. When we allow ourselves to practice patience, we stop viewing life as a race and instead start appreciating the moments along the way. Every step, every delay, and every waiting period becomes an opportunity to reflect, to grow, and to gain clarity on what truly matters. Finding inner peace is another critical aspect of allowing life to unfold naturally. We are constantly bombarded with external pressures, social expectations, societal standards, and the influence of others, which often make it difficult to find peace within ourselves. However, when we take a moment to quiet the noise and center ourselves, we can find the clarity and calmness that we need to navigate life's challenges. Silence is not simply the absence of sound. It is the presence of stillness that allows us to listen to our inner voice and trust our instincts. In the stillness, we connect more deeply with ourselves and gain insights into what we truly need. Inner peace comes from knowing that we do not need to constantly chase after things or push ourselves to meet external standards. When we allow ourselves to be at peace with where we are in life, we stop rushing and start embracing the process. We can trust that the right opportunities, people, and experiences will come to us when we are ready to receive them. Life is not about forcing outcomes or constantly striving to meet expectations. It's about finding peace within the journey and trusting that everything will unfold in its own time. When we practice patience and trust, we invite a sense of calm into our lives and allow ourselves to move through life with greater ease. Patience, trust, and timing and inner peace are interconnected principles that help us navigate life with grace and understanding. They encourage us to stop trying to force outcomes and instead allow ourselves to move with the natural flow of life. When we learn to wait patiently, trust the timing of events, and find peace within ourselves, we begin to experience life more fully. We start to see the beauty in the quiet moments, the lessons in the waiting periods, and the value in trusting the process. Life doesn't always happen according to our plans, but when we embrace these principles, we can find joy in the journey, knowing that everything we need will come to us in its own time. The more we practice patience, trust, and inner peace, the more we understand that we don't have to force life to work in our favor. Instead, we can relax into the natural rhythm of life, knowing that everything will come to us when the time is right. Personal growth is often a gradual process, and it's one that thrives in the spaces of patience and stillness. In a world obsessed with instant results and rapid progression, we may often feel like we should be achieving things at a faster pace. However, growth isn't something that can be rushed. Just like a tree needs time to grow strong and deep roots before it can reach its full potential, we too must allow ourselves the time to develop and evolve. It's important to understand that growth often happens in subtle ways, and the progress we make isn't always immediately visible. When we push ourselves too hard or expect instant results, we may become frustrated or discouraged, forgetting that transformation is a process. Every challenge we face, every moment of uncertainty, and every delay we experience is an opportunity for personal growth. By embracing patience, we give ourselves the time we need to fully absorb the lessons life has to offer. This means that even when it feels like we're not moving forward, we are still evolving. Growth is a journey, not a race. And learning to trust in that process can make all the difference in how we experience it. In life, we often feel like we need to control everything around us. We try to dictate the outcomes of our actions, the timing of events, and the paths we take. However, life doesn't always adhere to our plans, and that's when the importance of surrendering control becomes evident. Surrendering control doesn't mean giving up on our goals or abandoning our responsibility. Instead, it means recognizing that there are forces beyond our understanding and influence, and sometimes we need to let go of our need to control every detail. When we stop trying to micromanage the process, we open our